know why you're watching this video. It's because you scoured the internet trying to figure out the same thing I was trying to figure out. Guess what? I figured it out. Took forever. I know. But I have figured out a way to do a tower defense with ease, with characters, not balls or robots. So, right off rip, how we're going to start this whole tutorial off. Is it a tutorial? I guess. We're going to we're going to make a new folder. Just going to name it Tower Defense. Open that up right off rip. Need a new level. I'm going to name it Empty. Open that bad boy. Why is it empty? You asked for empty. Okay. Well, we'll keep that in there to keep that folder alive. Let's go to File, New Level, Basic. All right. File again. We're going to save that current level. Just calling it Map. Okay, with our map saved in our file of Tower Defense, we're going to keep this organized here. What we're going to do is we are going to open a level blueprint. For some reason it keeps opening up. And pretty much right on event begin play, we're going to get player controller. And then off this, you're going to get set mouse cursor. And then enable click events. I want to set that. Then enable mouse over event. Compile and save that. That off. We no longer need that. Now, let's get a folder. I call this pretty much, I guess we can call it, actually I don't even know what to name it. UI. Even though it has nothing to do with the UI. Well, kind of. Alright, right off rip, we need a game mode. I always don't do game mode base, just do game mode. We're going to name it Tower Defense Game Mode. Alright, now, Blueprint class, we need a player controller. Name it Tower Defense Player Controller. And then we need a widget, user widget, and we're going to name it Tower List. And then another one, we're going to call it Player HUD. And then after that, we're going to get a pawn, Blueprint class pawn. It's going to be player pawn. That'll be us. That's us. And then another pawn. Call it tower pawn. And then we're going to need two characters. This will be tower, base, and then We need another one, so copy, we'll Control C, Control V. And we're going to call this enemy base. And I just want to check. It opened over here. I just want to make sure it's not inherent. You know, it's not a child of that other blueprint. I always make sure just in case. I'm going to save all those real quick. We need to make another blueprint class where it's going to be an actor. This is going to be our enemy spawner. And then one more for, this will be our goal. This is our goal for our enemies. Now, we do need to set up some animations. Put characters in already. I have 2 characters that I'm gonna use for my tower and my enemy. If you haven't done that, just do that real quick. Like the 2 you want, make sure they have like minimum animation. If you already have them in, we're gonna make an animation blueprint. And for me, it's gonna be I have a soldier and a zombie, so it'll be soldier. I'm gonna just name it tower animation. Then I'm gonna get another animation blueprint. This is gonna be for my zombie. And this is how easy it is to set up these animations. You just open it up. I got plain Jane animations for them, right? I just want him walking, all done. Exit that on. Open up my tower. He's gonna be, we'll say, a rifleman. So since he's a rifleman, you can set up, you just make a new animation blueprint like these if you want to have different characters. Say like if I wanted pistol or rocket, I would just set up a different animation for them. And you can just follow these steps and add them in. Like it's this simple. Since we have our animations now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our enemy base, we're going to create a blueprint child and just call it enemy. Open him up. Put your mesh on. The zombie. Now, since he's set up, for the most part, I'm going to go to enemy base, the main, parent. I'm going to click mesh, and we're going to add the animation over here. And bam, it's automatically walking. Back to enemy base, we're going to add a variable, health, and it's going to be a float. Compile and save it, and then on your float, change the value to 1. You have to save on both because it puts, if you're doing this, you know what parents do. The parent does. If you don't, just to clarify, it pretty much whatever variables or whatever script you put in, it will automatically go to that zombie. Now, since we are in our zombie, well, our enemy base, we need to put something on the event tick. Actually, we need another variable too. It's gonna be a boolean. Dead question mark. And we're gonna make it a boolean. We don't need this. We just need the event tick. So we're gonna branch. Then we're gonna get health. And then is it equal to, well, less than or equal to 0? That'll be our condition. And then if it's true, just destroy the actor. And then set dead, question mark, to true. And then if it's false, just copy and paste that and make it false. And that's pretty much all we're doing in here. And he'll automatically pick it up. And now, actually, we need to go back into the enemy. Open up your enemy, not base, enemy. On begin play, we're going to disconnect. We're going to add our own little script here. Right off rip, we're going to put a delay. Don't have to change it. We're going to get character movement. Set max walk speed. For me, because I know the animation speed for the zombie enemy I have, I'm putting 50. So what you do is you test it. You put a zombie on the map, and after it's all set up, after we get set up, you put the zombie on the map and put the goal marker with a nav mesh. He'll walk to it. You can just set the speed here, and it'll determine how fast he's moving. You know, like if he's dragging across the ground and his animation's moving slower, you can just slow him down here. And now we're gonna get all actors of class. And we're looking for goal. Goal, we made that earlier, goal. And then we're gonna AI move to. For the pawn, it's ourself. And then the target, we're going to get a copy. It's going to get all goals. Like, so if you have more than one endpoint, right? Say if you have more than one endpoint, it'll choose between the two. And then if you want to make it random, where they go random, you just do a random integer in range. Get length. Random integer in range. Put it on max. Then attach it to that, right? And then that right there will give you, out of all the goals you have placed, say if you have 10 of them, right? It'll randomly pick through the 10 of them, and then it'll get it, bam. But in this situation, we're just gonna have one. So this is all you gotta do. Next, on success, we're gonna cast to our tower pawn. And on the fail, attach that up to. Because sometimes it doesn't read all the time, right? So this is just so if it fails to get to the position, it'll, because we're going to destroy the enemy when it gets to the end of the path, like the end of your trail. Sometimes it'll get to the destination, but it'll say it's a fail because it can't walk over it or something. So you want to, on fail, do it. It still works the same. For the object, it's player pawn. Get player pawn. Then as the player pawn, we're gonna get, did we set this up? I don't think we did. So let's go to our player pawn. Did I put on a tower pawn? Yeah, I said tower pawn, right? Hmm. Oh, okay, this is where I'm getting confused. Because I have player pawn and then tower pawn. Don't know why I have both. I shouldn't have both. Okay, we're gonna get rid of the player one, I think. Yeah, we're gonna delete that. I didn't mean to make this. It's not affiliated with anything, so we're good. We need to go to our tower pawn and add a variable. We're gonna add health. It's gonna be a float. From our tower pawn, get health. Then we're gonna minus or subtract. Uh, Whatever you prefer for damage wise. Say if your first round is 10 zombies, you just put 10 health per zombie that goes through, and then we're gonna set our health. Okay, wrong one. Drag over here. Now set health. And that will be, that'll, every time a zombie gets to the goal point, right, our goal, it will do damage to you. And we're gonna delay. Say 3 seconds, and then just a reactor. Compile and save. And that is it for the enemy. Get rid of that. I guess we can do this. So right off rip, we're gonna add a sphere, and then add a spring, then add a camera. All right, click on the sphere. See how it's in the ground right here? We want it to be like that. We want to be right above the ground. Click the spring. Give us some distance. 500, yeah. And then on the spring, you're going to rotate up. I have to give it, depending on how big your map is, you'll have to zoom it out with the spring. Like we'll go 1,000 just to make it, wider. And that's pretty much our angle of our camera. Go to the bank graph on begin play. Create a widget. We're going to get player HUD, and then just add it to the viewport. That's it. And then now we need to go to tower list HUD, the widget tower list. We're going straight to the graph right now. We're adding a variable. It'll be tower spawn. Did we not make one? Oh, I see now. This is why I get confused with about the tower pawn and the player pawn. In my notes, I did it this way. I put this as my tower pawn as my character, but my pretty much it's called tower pawn for me in my notes. That's our player, and then my tower thing is called tower spawn. So we're gonna make another blueprint class actor. We're gonna call it tower spawn because we need one of them. Save all. Now let's go back to our HUD tower list, and now type in tower spawn object reference blue, not class, blue. And we're going to compile and save that. We're going to come back to that. Actually, let's do that now. Go into tower list because it's going to be kind of easy. Like, it's super simple. If you're using Unreal Engine 5, you need to put it in Canvas. You can set this up however you want. I'm just making it super simple. Add a button. We're only doing one character. I'm going to add some text. And then just, you name it what you want. This is because I'm using one character. I'm just going to leave it there. Make it simple. And go to the graph. On this button, you might want to rename it to make it easier if you have more than one button. You want to on pressed. Do not do on clicked. You need a on pressed. And then on pressed is this is what we're going to do. We're going to spawn an actor from class. Our class is going to be tower. Want to do tower base. Why don't we have what is oh yeah, because we didn't set one up. I forgot. So we need to do our tower base. We need to create a child for him. We're gonna name it tower. And I'm slipping up in this video. Let's put a character on. I'll be the soldier. I'm gonna go to my base now. Add his animation, like we did before. It's tower animation. See, he's in a rifle stance. I know, relax. Alright, now since we made tower, we're gonna bring him alive. Right there. Now for this is why we needed to make this. Tower spawn. But before we can do that, I forgot again. Come in here. You're going to add a component. I'm going to use a plane because it's the thinnest. And that's it. That's all we're doing for that right now. Why did I close it? Go back to close this. Close that. Now, on this, we're going to get plane. Or whatever you named it. And then we're going to get world transform. That is a spawn transform. And then from here, we're gonna we need to get this again. Got to keep it neat. And then we're gonna set tower and set that up. Oh my gosh, I'm slacking. Go to your tower. Yeah, I'm slacking. All right, we're gonna add a variable. It's gonna be a Boolean type. We're gonna call it tower question mark. File and save. And then over here, we're gonna set it to false. And then from there, remove from parent. That should be it for this. Yeah, this should be it. We can exit that off. All right, we're not going to do that yet. Now we're going to get our player HUD. Once again, add a canvas. This one's super simple. Just going to get text. A little bigger. All right, we're just going to make a binding. And then our variable. Oh, we don't need a variable, that's right. We're going to cast to tower pawn. I'm just hoping we set up the health. We're going to get player pawn. And we're going to get health. Look, see, I knew I could do something. Then just connect that up. Compile and save. And that's it for the HUD. I'm going to get to that, I promise. Now we're going to open up our player controller. This is real quick. Go on off the event tick. All we need is set input mode game and UI. And then for player controllers, self. That's all we had to do there. And now we can do our tower. We are on tower spawn now. So, I'm going to go straight to the graph. Click the plane, or whatever you're using as your base. And we're going to get on begin cursor over, be on end cursor over, and then on clicked, and then on released. Drag out, get it, and we're going to set material. If you hover over it, we want it to change colors. I have an idea. Since I have black, basic ground material, I'm going to make this, when you hover over it, and white. And then on this one, doing the same thing, just copy. What you want to do is click on your plane. You see how it's right here? Click this little folder with the magnifying glass. It'll automatically highlight it for you in your browser. Then just click that little arrow, bam. Because this is after we end the cursor. Like say if my cursor's on it and it pops up, it'll change the color. Then when I take it off, it'll go back to what it was. Now on clicked, but before we do unclick, we're going to do the last one. So just set that. And mine was black. Set it to whatever material it was before. Alright, on this one, we're going to branch right over it. And this is where our tower boolean comes in. Bam. We're going to set the material. Going to need 2 of them. Make this green, like good to go. We'll make this orange. You know, like, no bueno. No, not allowed. Alrighty. Now we're gonna get all widgets of class. This will be our tower list. Write out the extension for each loop. I think you can hit F. That's not. Well, for each loop is what we need. Off the array element, we're going to remove from parent. Loop it. Off the complete, create a widget. Do not connect it up. We're going to show tower list. And then add it to viewport. Then at the end here, we need to call our tower spawn. And then it's going to reference itself. And that should be it for our tower spawn. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we can pretty much code out, like this is the gist of, actually let me see. Did we do our zombie base? Yes, we did. So we can, we don't have to worry about the zombie. We'll do the spawner and the goal first. Because the last thing we have to do is the tower, our tower, and that's pretty much the gist of it. Pretty much, like it's pretty like long and confusing. So we're gonna do the spawner first for the enemy spawner. For visual effect, so you can see it, just go to add and make it a sphere, and then what you want to do is change it to what's it called? World grid. The world grid material. And there's a reason you do this because then it doesn't have to load anything in. And then also you want to make sure it's hidden in game. And on collision, overlap all. Make sure that. Make sure this overlap all. Let's go to that graph. All right, we're gonna need. We don't need that. And we don't need this. Just using the begin play, but first we're gonna make a custom event. We call it spawn enemy. And then on event begin play, we're gonna call it. That's all that's for. This is where the code is. Oh, I made. Alright, now we're going to spawn AI from class. Now our pawn class is the enemy. Not the base, the enemy. Make sure it's not the base. Base is just to get inheritance, like health and all that stuff. It's not to be spawned. And then just off a location, get actor location. That's pretty much this, the spawner. And then what we need to do is make two variables. They're going to be integers. We need the max amount and then that's going to be integer. Copy that and paste it. And this will be pretty much current. We're going to branch right off this. And our condition is going to be equal. Bring that up, and it's going to be is our current amount. Make sure you compile. Our current amount, 0, is equal to your max amount. This is what you're going to set. Say if it's 10, remember how Unreal is, 0 counts as 1. So it'd be 9 to make 10. It'll spawn 10 with the number 9. Make sure it's 9 if you do that way. So if you go 20, it'd be 19. 19 is the number because they always do zeros 1. So 19, 29, 39 to make the next number. And then if it's true, delay. We're going to get all actors of class. Actually, no. You don't need this. That was something that's for either setting up multiple spawners. Actually, you know what? We can do this. We'll do this. Add a delay. Add a delay. I did mine for 60 seconds just to test it, but we can do 30. And we're going to get all actors of class. You ain't gonna be able to set this up just yet. Go to false. We're gonna set the current amount. Then from here, you're gonna plus or add, and then you're gonna get your current amount, and then you're gonna add 1. And then delay 3 seconds. It's due to my walk speed. I do it 3 seconds, so they're evenly spread apart. And then you're just going to spawn enemy. So it keeps calling itself. But to do this, to set this up, right? This is what I'm doing. Just duplicate this. Control V. Now I always call it V2, so it'll pop up here, right next to it, version 2. Open it up. We need to add a variable to this. Let me check my notes. Because I wasn't going to do this, but it's better off we do it. Yeah, we need to make a boolean. Yeah, we need a boolean. We'll just call it start, question mark. Okay, if it would. Yeah, just keep that a boolean. Compile it. What we need to do on the event for this, we need to get rid of this. Don't need this. This is the version 2. Remember this. This is the version 2. Get the event tick. We're gonna branch. Our condition is the start. On true, spawn enemy. And then set to start to false again, like that. False, nothing on. And then on this, you don't need this unless, since we did this, right? Since this is the first one, like if you go to the first spawner, we have this to start the second wave. So we're gonna get all actors guide, and you click, you type in enemy spawner version 2. That'll give us the act, and then we get we're gonna actually no, not all actors. Never mind. Cut this off. We need get actor class. Then call it spawner version 2. And then from our return value, that variable we made, we're going to set it. So here, what's doing is once the max amount, which I set was 10, it'll say, oh, that's true. It'll wait 30 seconds. It'll call this right here, tell it to start. Then it'll start spawning. In here, you take this, since it's 9, I want to double it, so I'll go 19. Then from there, if you want more waves, wave after wave, you just keep doing that same process. You just have to put down spawners. There's other ways you can do it with data tables and all that crap, but I'm not going that far. You know, I don't need a data table because I'm only going to do like if I'm doing a map, I'm not going to do 50 rounds unless it's an endless zombie whatever or whatever game you're making it where it's just an endless thing. But you can just set the amount to -1 and that's infinite. -1 on the max amount. Just hit -1. It'll run forever. It'll just keep spawning and spawning and spawning and spawning nonstop. So there's no need to have all that data table stuff. And then if you're doing a tower defense, average is like what, 3 rounds? three spawners sit in there in the same position, and they never overlap each other because we made it overlap all. So we're gonna save the. That's pretty much all we had to do in here. That's it. I'm making sure, I'm just checking real quick, make sure everything is legit, make sure that I'm correct before I send you off. Like, oh yeah, you're done. Our goal is already set up. That we had to put the thing in it. Go to your goal, and just for visual specs, add a sphere, and make it world grid material, so it doesn't take up any processing or anything like that. We're gonna make it hidden in game. I forgot to do that about the spawner too. Let's go to the spawner. We did it on this one. Okay, yeah, okay. I made sure of that. Do it to the goal. Make the goal look the same. You know, where it has no texture. And then, before we get to our soldier, right, before our guy, we're going to do this. We're going to go to game mode override on your world settings of the map you're on. We're going to click our game mode. Default pawn is tower pawn. Player controller is our tower defense player controller. I don't think we made a game state. State class, no space. This is it. We don't change nothing. None of this. Now, on your map, you want a player start. That's why we didn't move our camera. Line your player startup with this. Do 2 clicks up, and then delete this. Delete your camera. Yeah, it's 3, sorry, 3. That's where your camera will be. Where, like, what you do is you set your camera up where your path's gonna be, right? So wherever your path is, that's where you, like, if you want your camera, you set your player start there. Like, oh, you want your camera to be right, looking right down here. That's where your player start is. So that white ball is pretty much where your camera's looking. It's just for reference so you can see it. And if I'm not mistaken, we should be able to, if you preview, see the number on my screen, it's 0 because we have no health. And if you notice, it turns color. That's me clicking on. For some reason, it's not bringing up the. Why are you not bringing up? That's weird. Did we not set up this button? I thought we did. Is it my player HUD? What are we missing here? I must be missing something. Did we not set it up? I thought we did. Wrong one. Oh. That's my problem. Okay, on your tower, under tower spawn, go back into tower spawn. On your tower, we need to make sure this is true. We want to check mark that because we want it to say yeah on clicked. Okay, make sure. Now if you hit play, it'll pop it up. Now, when you click it again, see how it popped him off? It's because with the plane, you have to it's pretty much like you make, how can I put this? Me, I put a sphere on this and called the sphere, but I'm not understanding. Is my thing not 0? Let's check the plane. Let's check it. 'Cause I don't want you guys or you girls messing, having problems. Where you at right now? 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Let's go to the button. It should spawn right on top of it. Oh, wait. Never mind. I know what. Go to viewport. Go to your plane. You want to overlap all. That's what. Whatever your platform is, overlap all. Yeah, that's our problem. What happens is it pushes the character off. We're going to hit play again. Not. Oh, I forgot. I keep forgetting this. This is how I figured this out, though. Alright, open back up your thing. I forgot we have to set this to custom. And we want to block everything, right? Except for ignore pawn. Ignore the pawn. And now, we click it. He's on top. If you hit F8, you can see like he's like kind of in it, right? Well, if you lower the platform, right, you can set it up where he's right at, because he's spawning it like on it, like at the position. So with that being working, we're gonna bring that back into my camera. We need to set up our character to make him damage said, enemy. So we're gonna open up tower. You're probably wondering why aren't you using the tower base? Because tower base ain't is just for health and stuff and variables if needed, which we do need. So tower base, open foo. We need 3 variables, but the one we get from in. So we're only gonna make 2. We're only making 2. The first one's a boolean. Should rotate, question mark. Another one, it's a boolean. Fire. Bam. Go back to your tower. On begin play, just saddle in, because this is when this is where things will get very confusing. All right, we're gonna get all actors of class. We're gonna collect enemy zombie. Yeah, we're gonna get enemy. The base enemy, and then we're gonna get, and then we're gonna promote this to a variable. This is that third variable I was talking about. So you want to put zombie base. And then from there, we're gonna call, stop my face. We need to make custom event. We're gonna call this face enemy. And then we need another one. We're gonna call this rotate. No. Yeah, rotate. And then on your, let's go to your viewport. This is just my fail safe, just in case. So what you want to do is add a sphere collision. And you want to make it kind of bigger. You want to put it out in front of them. Yay much. And then you want to offset it to the left. Well, actually, rephrase that. So if you have in tower defense, you want to pick one direction the zombies or enemies will always go, right? So when they come out of their spawn, you must keep you can set it up differently if you want to make more characters, but the best way to do it is like me, I like them to come out and make a right turn first. So I'm offsetting to the left, so if they walk into this, there's a chance that it, like, say if in some cases it'll loop too much, like too fast, and it'll break. This is a fail safe just in case if it happens. So you want to keep to the left because if he turns, like the zombies are coming from his left, well his right, he'll turn to the right and they'll keep going through this, so it keeps refreshing it, is what I'm trying to, that's what it's for. It don't make sense, but to show you, I'm gonna put this not hidden in game. It's not hidden. It's so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Go back to the graph. At begin play, right at the end, we're going to call rotate. I want to call that function. And I forgot, on this, we want to make it run on owning client. Do not make it reliable. And then this one, also run on owning client, non-reliable. Got to make sure. And if you compile, you'll see it. Ready playing to owning client if server. So, from face enemy, we want to get our sphere. And on begin overlap, we're going to need both these. This just in case. Branch, and then should rotate. And then hook this up, like so. It's just a failsafe, that's all it is. It's just in case. And then off the fault, we want to rotate again. Now on the true, get all actors of class. And we're going to call it zombie base. The actual zombie base. What the? Oh, enemy. That's what I called it, enemy. I keep saying zombie because it's a zombie. We want enemy base, not enemy, enemy base. And then we're going to get a copy. And then off this, we're going to set actor rotation. Then we're going to split this rotation pin. You right click on the pin, it'll say split structure pin. It's going to show you these. Give yourself some room because there's a lot of stuff. We're going to get actor location. And then we're going to get actor location for this. Don't plug nothing into this. This is us. This is your tower. And then from here, we're going to find look at rotation. And that's your target. Bam. Now, we're going to get, we need more room. We need to get actor rotation. Once again, don't add nothing because that's our character again, the tower. And then we're going to R, interp 2. And the top one is your current value, where you're at, like the way your character's standing. That's your return value. And delta second, get world delta second. It's per frame. Like whatever your frame rate is. Say if your rame's 60 frames, 120 frames, it'll move it there. Interprets. Lower the number, slower it goes. 20 for a start. I feel that's kind of smooth, like it's kind of nice. Now right here, on this return value, you want to split the structure pin. We just want the Z. Or Z, to whoever's watching. Z, Z, just bam. And then from there, we're going to branch. And then we're going to get our, oh yeah, I forgot. We're going to drag off this. Fire. Get fire. Now for the false delay, it's going to be 0.001. And then we're going to face the zombie. Oh, face enemy. From there, the true though, that's it for false. For true, same delay. No. Yeah, we need a delay. This will be your fire rate to shoot said enemy, right? So for mine, I have a AK, so it'd be 0.099. That's roughly the average fire rate for an M4 in real life. Then we're gonna, oh, we have to do this. Save that real quick, compile and save. We're gonna make a blueprint class real quick. Make it an actor. We're gonna name it bullet. And with the bullet, doesn't have to be fancy. We can do superiors. Make it kind of small. On the sphere, you want to add a projectile. Projectile movement. And then put it at 300. It's just for starters. It's so we can see what direction it comes out. Then, if you don't have a character, right? There's other ways we can do this though, like the way I'm. But if you're watching this, it's because you're trying to use a character with a weapon. So you want to go to your message of your weapons. See, I have weapons. Whatever your mesh is, you're going to add a socket to it. We're going to call it muzzle, because this is where the projectile is coming from. Alright, now, to determine which way it's going to shoot out, that red arrow is always an indication the way it's looking. See how that red arrow is pointing forward now? That's the way everything goes. That is forward and backward. So you always want the arrow going forward from where you want it to come out. Save that. And then we can pretty much just, yeah, we're done with the projectile. That's it for the projectile. Go back into tower. We don't need tower base. We don't need the list or the spawn. Now we're going to spawn actor from class. You're going to put bullet. Now, this is where it can go two ways. You can, so for me, I'm going to add the weapon. See, look, it automatically wants me to add it. See, I even clicked it. It's because it knows I'm spawning a projectile. And hit add. And then socket it. Okay. And then come over here, pull out the gun, and get socket. Transform. And we named it muzzle, and it has to be spelled the same capitalization, everything. And then make transform. And compile and save. We go back, your weapon's back. And that will spawn a bullet every time. And then, right after that, not off the return, my bad, get actor, get actor of class. We're gonna get the bullet. Then from the bullet, we're gonna put a delay on it. We want like 0.001. It has to be instant. And we're gonna drag off this, destroy actor. This is so the bullets don't go all the way across the map, because for you to do that, all you gotta do is, when we get to the other part of the script, you just set it up differently. It'll make sense once we get down the road. Now you're gonna get all actors of class. And we're gonna set this to zombie base. Enemy base, sorry. Enemy base. Oh my gosh, I need to stop saying zombie. Now we're gonna get a copy, and then we're gonna get, well, get health. And then we're gonna subtract. So we'll say per bullet, that'll take 10 shots to kill a zombie, 10 shots. I accidentally opened Visual Studio. Okay, now from here, we want to set health. Comes off the get. And then from here, we need to get dead. And then branch. This will determine if the zombie's dead or not. And then, off of true, going to call rotate. If it's false, delay 0.001. And then plug it in there. Now, on your sphere, click it and go to End Overlap. And we're going to get all actors of class. And it's going to be zombie base. Fuck. Enemy of base. We're going to get. Now, we need to run a check. Is valid. Question mark. Is valid. I need to check to see if a zombie exists. And then we're going to get distance to. Get distance to. Want this plugged into other actor. Like so. Because the target is us. And then we need to, is it less than or equal? This number, you can determine, this is what I was saying about range. So say if you have close range combat enemy, well, towers, and then you want like snipers, you just change this value on them. Like say if you have tower 1 is 500. That's what we're going to make it. But tower 2 is 1,000, where they have a get distance to. And then we're going to branch. What this is going to decide is, are they in range? Are they in range of us? They are. We're going to set. Should rotate to yes. And then set fire to true. And then it's going to face the enemy. Now if it's false, we need to say no. Shouldn't rotate. No, shouldn't fire. Delay. And that's going to be 0.001. And then we're going to rotate. And then plug it right into this. Face enemy. If you're wondering, why would you do that? Oh, wait, hold on. One more thing. On the is not valid, bring it over here. On this bottom line, on the false. Because you want to do this because you want to keep it looping. You want it to loop over and over and over again. Non-stop. It's just steadily looping and looping and looping and looping. So, if you do this, this means it's rotating. That's pretty much the line. This is a rotate loop, is what I call it, the rotate loop. Because if it goes to face, face enemy, it's going to run the check. It's going to come back to rotate, no matter what. So, since it rotates over and over and over, it's running a check to see if a zombie, an enemy is valid. Is the enemy there? If not, rotate, do a check again. Keep checking to see if any enemy is near me. Now, if their enemy is near me, we're going to change it. We're going to face the enemy. It's going to set to fire. The fire is going to go off and start killing said enemy. Now we're going to save that. If I'm not mistaken, that should be it. We should be able to set this up now to have a proper map. So for this is why I said it doesn't matter about your map. Get a Nav Mesh, bounds volume with a check mark, not the modifier, bounds volume. And what you want to do is, say you design your map, right? Your path. Hit P to bring that up. All right, this is my path. Make it a little longer. What we want to do is now we are going to save all first. We're going to get our spawner. I have to make this a little wide. Let's simulate. I'll put your goal in. Okay. Go in your goal. I thought we did this. We want to overlap all on that. So now if we simulate, it's just to make sure they had room to spawn. We're going to bring in our version 2. What you do is click this one, go to details, this top location, right click, copy, click on this one. Why is there 2 of them? Is that what my thing looks like right now? Oh, it's a goal. I was like, what? Alright, now paste in your location on this one. It'll automatically line it up. Means they're both the same. Now we're gonna hit select from viewport. Oh, hold on. Forgot to do that. Let's go to pawn, player pawn, viewport, grab this little ball. We're gonna hide that in game so we don't see it. And also we're gonna custom this. It'll block everything but pawn. If you hit play, spawn your character, see how it's spamming rotate? That's what I want. I want him to constantly rotate. That's what you want. Him steadily rotating, 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 rotating. And he's pretty much what it's doing is there an enemy near me? And right now the enemy is not close enough. Now look, see how the enemy got closer? He starts shooting them. After he shoots them 10 times, they die. Now we put that timer, the delay for 30 seconds for the next wave. Well, you don't want your character to sit there and steadily shoot after the fact. That's why we had to set up all those little different rotations. It's to set him back into rotation after the fact that he's already fired. Like he just fired, he's no longer firing. You can look at my actors over here on the right. See how they're only going up because enemy are spawning, but there are no bullets spawning because the projectile spawns as an actor, and then the next wave's gonna come in. And just like that, it works. And then if you're wondering why there's no number there on your screen, because that's supposed to be your player, it's because we didn't set it. When you come in here, set it. Hit play again, it'll be 1, but it's because we made it a float. It was just so I could do that. But for people that are watching, we'll progress bar. And all you gotta do is bind the percentage to this, pretty much the same thing. Just do this, go over here to get the text, copy this, same thing. Just this will give a better number because it is a float. If you want to do it text way, you can do integers. Now, you notice that my bar is full. I'm not going to put a character down, and I'll cut to where the zombies are walking by. And it's that simple. Hope this helps. And be like, I guess I'll be like most YouTubers, I guess. Don't forget to smash that like button, bro, and don't forget to subscribe, you know what I'm saying? I'll see you in the next one.